Oh hey, cool, it's a Nintendo Switch! Thanks Nana and Pop Pop. While these cheap handhelds and consoles from China love to mimic actual video game devices past and present, no device has been the recent target of subterfuge more than the Nintendo Switch. So many of these things are releasing in red-blue color schemes to confuse grandparents who have found themselves in shady apps on their generic tablets hunting for little Billy's next Christmas present. Today's review of the, wait, I don't even know what this one is called. There's nothing on the console itself. Okay, let me check the manual. Okay, it's the Retro FC. Today's review of the Retro FC is no exception. It's a Switch-colored handheld that is most definitely not a Switch. No sir, not even close. Like the G5S game player, my Retro FC device came in a Ziploc bag, complete with that helpful manual that reminded me of the name of the device that I bought, a charge cable, a TV cable, and a second controller, also Switch colored. Little Billy's gonna love it. It's like getting 2 Switches. Initial impressions fresh out of the bag are decent. The device has some thickness to it, which I like. It's the first one of these that I've reviewed that I don't feel I could just snap in half like a Slim Jim. There's a textured surface on the front that's okay, just don't look at it too closely or you'll be able to see that the Chinese factory paint machine isn't great at staying inside the lines. It should be noted that this also comes in solid black or solid red, but come on, get the Switch version. Little Billy wants a new Switch. Ports-wise, there's not much here really, just the TV out and the charging port, which I guess doubles as a port for the second controller too. Turning on the Retro FC gives us 3 language options, throwing Spanish into the mix for the first time on one of these so far. You also get this somewhat menacing tree, and this looping bit of music that I'm sure is just ripped from a game, I just don't know which one yet. After picking your favorite language, you're greeted with another NES on a chip machine. This one featuring 620 crimes, although I'm sure some of them are homebrew games and are therefore potentially legal. Make your jokes about these cheap Famiclone type devices, but I'll say this about the content though. There are more NES games on here than there are on the actual Nintendo Switch, and that too is a crime speaking from a preservation standpoint. Come on Nintendo, do as good as this $15 device is doing. Interacting with this thing, let's talk about it. First, you've probably noticed what seems like a comically large D-pad. It most likely looks that way because the device itself is pretty small, but still, it's huge.
Well, that's a big knob, that's all.
It's not the worst thing I've ever experienced, but also not the best. Functional at times, it's all going to depend on what game you're playing. I'm surprised there's any space left on the D-pad side, but above it you'll find volume and reset buttons. Reset just reboots the whole device, while the volume button is a toggle that cycles through 4 volume settings: off, too low for humans to hear, normal, and good God, this speaker is trash. It starts off at normal level every time you reset the device, so you will always have to toggle through the loudest one just to get to the lower settings. So late night gameplay is pretty much right out the window. The one speaker is on the back of the handheld, and so putting this down on a table is very effective at reducing the volume. So much so that I thought I was shorting something out when I was first putting the system through its paces. Over here we've got 4 face buttons, unnecessary as you already know, but at least this time out the B and A buttons are in the right place and do the right things. The buttons above them are their turbo counterparts and everything makes sense again. However, above that are the select and start buttons, which are backwards. Ooh. So, all that being said, I've saved the worst for last. Let's talk about the screen. It's not good. It just cannot keep up with the images when the game is running, so everything will look distorted when in motion. When things are still, it's okay, but any playfield movement at all just looks terrible. Obviously, that won't be the case when you use the included cable to attach it to a TV, but there are better ways to play these games on a TV and to also have decent portability as well. So because of that, I have to put the Retro FC down here in the no section. There are things I like about it, the weight of the device, the fact that they got the button layout mostly correct, but the poor speaker and the even worse screen are a huge detriment, and I cannot in good faith give this one even a middling recommendation. Of course, I'll keep this device on hand because I want to investigate these games, and already I've stumbled into a whole new world as I was randomly starting things I'd never heard of just to get a quick glimpse of what they might be, and found what appears to be old school Intellivision games with a slightly new coat of paint. Are these ripped from those Intellivision plug-and-play consoles that came out a few years ago? Time will tell, I guess. So thanks for watching, everyone. I really appreciate you being here. I'm gonna go investigate what's going on here, and until next time, let's play some games.